This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by Conor Benn. All right, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Another Everlast athlete.
I'm part of the Everlast gang.
There you go. There you go. Team Everlast.
Let's get this out of the way with Everlast, absolutely, because obviously Everlast, IFL's official new sponsor. You're associated with Everlast. We saw those adverts rolling in on Fight Night with you and Everlast recently, but they've just pledged to sign 52 fighters this year. They've already signed Natasha Jonas, Sandy Ryan, Chantel Cameron. They're going all out to kind of put back into boxing, and a brand like Everlast, so iconic, it's a good boost for the sport.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, Everlast is legendary in the sport of boxing. Do you know what I mean? When you think Everlast, you think legendary, you think boxing, you think legacy, and all the above. That's why it's such a good brand for me to be associated with. It goes way back. And I mean, you know, the biggest British apparel deal is me. Just got to throw that out there. You know, because I say that with pride, and I take that with pride. The biggest apparel deal. I believe it's either in Europe or Britain. So I'm over the moon with that.
Great thing about, like I said, Everlast, that it's not just people of your age or my age that it appeals to. It's you're going back to kind of the 60s and the 70s with Muhammad Ali, those iconic shots of him in Everlast shorts. It's like an iconic brand through the history of boxing, isn't it?
Of course it is. What a brand to be associated with. You know, from the likes of one of the greatest boxers of our time. I mean, even Mike Tyson, they were all wearing Everlast. They're the governor.
Right, okay, down to business. Samuel Vargas this week. Do you know what? I speak to a lot of people this week, and I've spoke to you myself this week, but they've said how kind of relaxed you are, and you're relaxed but focused. You know there's a job in hand this week. You know there's bigger fights for you after this, but you can't really even think about what's past this until you have, well, got rid of Samuel Vargas, basically.
Well, definitely. I mean, I made the mistake of overlooking an opponent once before, and I had to clamp off the deck twice in the first round. So, you know, I'm glad I had that experience early on, and now I've learnt from that, and I'll never overlook anyone again, no matter what their record is. Especially not a fighter like Vargas, who's been in with the best fighters of our time. Yeah, he's lost on points, or you know, got stopped by the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in our era, and you know, I plan on putting my name up there.
You talk about overlooking opponents in the past, or you have done. What triggers that? What causes you to do that?
Well, I just come back from New York to knock around 3-4 fighters off the trot on the spin, and you know their records. Some of them were undefeated, and I thought, cool, he's easy work. Do you know what I mean? Look at his record. I booked Miami up, nice little payday, nice little spend up out in Miami, and then it turned out my longest night's work. Do you know what I mean? It was hard, it was grueling, and you can't keep having fights like that. I'm just glad that I had the experience young, do you know what I mean?
When we spoke about a month ago, we spoke about the tag that you had that hopefully isn't going to get mentioned in you being this improved fighter. You are just Conor Benn, this is how you fight. Stop referring to you as that kind of, oh, Conor Benn is improved. We had that discussion before, but I've not really heard a lot of people kind of mention that this week as, oh, you know, Conor Benn is really improved, etc. And that kind of not got your back up, but you kind of just got to a point where, all right, stop talking about that now. Like, you know, you've had your early day fights, but now this is me as a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always be an improving fighter. So is everybody other fighter, but you ain't got to keep pointing it out, because at the end of the day, I'm now becoming a good fighter. You know, people were, you know what, they build up a fight with like that Koivla thinking I was going to lose. Boom, you beat him. Oh, he was tailor-made for you. Formella, oh, you know, this is a tough fight. I've had people, some sports critics come up to me and go, oh, don't sleep on him, mate, he's really in to win this. And, you know, I beat him easy. And then they're saying, oh, well, it was made for you. The same with Vargas. Someone come up to me, though, he's really looking in great shape. He's, you know, he's coming to win and all that. And then it's like, well, stick to your guns, mate, because once I beat him, then, you know, stick with your guns. Do you know what I mean? Oh, and then all of a sudden, oh, he was made for me. It's funny because, you know, they say it's a step up, and then when I overcome it, they go, oh, well, it's a compliment really, but it does get you back up a little bit. Stick with your guns.
A couple of weeks ago, a little bit of a, not a little bit, but we had a conversation off the record kind of thing about just boxing in general, and I said to you that I believe that you are the country's next kind of breakout pay-per-view star, and we saw comments from Eddie Hearn probably about 10 days after that where he kind of said also that he believes that you could possibly be the next pay-per-view star. That it's quite some compliment in this country where we look at someone like Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury and these kind of heavyweights that headline pay-per-view shows, etc., Dillian Whites and these guys. But after that, there seems to be a gap, or like, who's going to fill that void of being kind of the next star? But you are now being mentioned as the potential next star to fill that pay-per-view void. What does that mean to you?
Do you know, when I look at the other fight cards and all the fight shows, they're all 29, 30, 31 years old. And then that was when I sat down and I gave myself a pat on the back and I thought, well done you, mate. Do you know what I mean? Well done to you. 24. Do you know what I mean? And then we're having these talks, you know, it could be the next pay-per-view star. Obviously, you can't listen to the praise when you're winning, and you can't listen to the negative when you're losing. Do you know what I mean? So far, I ain't had no blips in my career, but it's been a blessing, man. This journey's been a whole blessing. I don't know how far I can go. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I fight with my heart on my sleeve. The tests that have been put in front of me, I've passed. My work ethic's showing, so we'll see, man. I can't really look too deep into that.
It just seems to me, looking from the outside, and you're kind of in a little bit of a bubble yourself, because you hear things and you see things, but you don't really know people's perception of you completely as a person, as a fighter, etc. But it seems to me in the last year, people have really kind of taken to you because of your attitude to the sport, kind of how down to earth you are, how relatable you are, that people can get on board with that and look at Conor Benn and think, kind of, this is a kid that turned professional, that didn't have to fight, kind of has had his ups and downs in his career, still undefeated, but has had his ups and downs. But now he's got into a contention where people like, forget me, people like Eddie Hearn are saying, this kid could be the next pay-per-view star.
As I said, you can't listen to the praise when you're winning, you can't listen to the negative when you lose, because so far it's been okay. I ain't lost yet. Let's see what the talks are when I do lose.
If.
I will lose at some stage.
If.
If. Okay, I'll say that. If. I do the best I can. Do you know what I mean? I try my hardest. I do the best I can, and to get myself ranked in the IBF, you know, top 12, WBA top 10. You think, numbers don't lie. The viewing numbers I do. I found out yesterday. Shit.
Only yesterday you found out about how you rate well on digital platforms, on Sky, etc., etc.
Shit. Do you know what I mean, bruv? What? I'm the biggest. Got the biggest viewing numbers outside of the heavyweight division, outside of white. What? Like, my last fight, the viewing numbers were insane. This one, I don't even know what this one's going to be. Do you know what I mean? And I think just, like, what do you say to that? I obviously entertain, I obviously deliver. It's such a blessing, but I wouldn't be where I am without the supporters. And do you know what? I bet you 90% of them or 95% of them actually want me to win. I know I do get negative comments and criticism. You know, I have some people go, I hope you get knocked out your next fight. 1 to every 100. No, 1 to every 50. Do you know what I mean? But Britain's really behind me, and it's really nice. It's actually like such a blessing. And I think you just get older, and it's nice because the British public have seen me change from a kid to a man to a world contender to past British level to, I mean, obviously people are going to knock me down, try and pull me down to their level. But overall, man, I'm a very blessed man. You know how blessed I am, Cougs.
Absolutely.
You do, because
Go on.
you do because you literally live down the road from me. Do you know what I mean? And I'd say we spent quite a bit of time together before the lockdown and when we could go out. Do you know what I mean? And it was it's nice because you've seen me for who I am, Victoria, my baby. You know, it's a blessing that, you know, just, you know, you see me outside of boxing, see what I'm about, who I am, and you're honest with me. Do you know what I mean? Not many people will come to you and give you the real. No one.
I think we've had a few nights out where, yeah, the conversations have gone how they've gone, etc. And I'll always kind of, especially in that situation, always tell you what I think. And I genuinely think with you, what people are watching on this screen right now is exactly how you are. Because some people wonder, they think, is he like that off camera, etc.? And I think you are like this we have this conversation now, but you're exactly the same off camera anyway. Your attitude to the sport is absolutely spot on. And when I stress to people that you don't fucking have to be doing this, like you literally don't, I know you don't have to box for financial reasons, etc., etc., but you do it because it's in you. It's in the Ben gene to do it. So that's why you do it, because you love it.
Yeah, do you know what? I think to myself, when I see all the criticism, or when I used to, I think, why do I do this? It takes away the love of actually fighting, because people look at you and they put you up there and they can poke and they can prod and they can poke and it hurts sometimes, do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, why do I even do this? And then I've got to remind myself I love fighting. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to separate the two, because the fame ain't the nice bit. I fight for the love of fighting, but the critics can sort of, or the, you know, the haters, and they can sort of take you away from that. And then you've got to sit down and take a step back and look out and look in and go, why do I fight? Because without fighting, my life is boring. Without fighting, what is life? No boxing, no life. And then you think, okay, you're right. Forget all the rubbish, the nonsense. Everything else is just noise. I fight because I love to fight. I fight because I love the training. I love the spit and sawdust. I love the early mornings. I love the challenge. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, not from a boxer's standpoint, because I'm not a boxer, but I completely understand what you're saying. And I'll give you, or people, a little inkling into kind of how serious you are to sport. I come into the gym probably about 3 weeks ago. We did an interview, and our children, or our babies, are kind of not too dissimilar age, like a month apart. And I said to you, the first thing I said to you was like, Conor, how are you dealing with the night feeds, etc.? And you said to me, I'm all right to say? You said to me that I'm not kind of in that zone yet, because I'm sleeping in a spare room, because obviously you're in camp, you need your sleep, etc., etc. But you've kind of been denied, to a certain degree, those kind of first few weeks of your baby boy. Fair to say?
100%. I mean, I had 3 days off when the baby was here. And it is hard. And you know what? My missus is going, oh, it's so hard. I'm really struggling. And then I go, and I then walk in and I go, I'm so jealous. Because they look, like I see them there and I see him laying there and I'm thinking, I'd love to be in the room with you guys. Do you know what I mean? And it's like they're sort of in their little bubble, so to speak. Like you walk in there and it's all like, you got the little lights on with the little, you know, temperature, and it's all like mood lighting in there, and he's there like nice and sound out. And I get up at 5 in the morning, I walk in the room, I'll have a little look, give him a little kiss on the head, and then I'm off to do my road work. And then I come back, they're still in bed, they're still sleeping. I then jump in bed with them, and then I get up when they get up, and then I do go to the gym and do my next session. But then as far as feeding the baby emotionally, I'm not there. As far as changing the nappies, I'm not there. And I don't mind changing the nappies, do you know what I mean? And like, I don't mind, he's my son. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind feeding him. But then I'm not emotionally there, because my mind's thinking, what am I going to have for food? Am I going to have it before training or after training? What am I going to do to Vargas? And then you forget I've got a baby there. Do you know what I mean? So just got to wait for this fight to get out of the way, and then I can emotionally be invested in the pair of them.
Well, you talk about that there. A couple of weeks ago, Dillian Whyte, obviously who knocked out Povetkin in the rematch, revealed to us that his baby's 4 months old and he's not even laid eyes on his baby. He's not seen his baby because he's been in camp, and obviously he wasn't there for the birth, etc. So he's going to, at some point, obviously would have done it by now, gone back and seen a baby that's 4 months old that he's not even held because he's been in camp. But this is the other side of boxing that people don't see and have got to realise, is this is how serious you guys take the sport.
You know what, I'm getting sick of these sacrifices. Not my son. Not my son. Do you know what I mean? You know, even these few days, it's not nice, do you know what I mean? He's growing. I was on the phone to him a minute ago and he's changing, he's growing up. He's changing, but daily. No, and I've gone to Vic, what sort of cry is that? I haven't heard that one yet. He's gone, no, this is a new one. Do you know what I mean? And it's, you want to emotionally be there. You won't get this time back. You won't get none of this time back. It's all gone. That's it, forever gone. Never ever getting that back. Do you know what I'm saying? So this has all got to pay off, man. you know, not even in financials, because I'm not even asked about financials as much as, you know, legacy.
Do you know what? I got in the other day and Mrs. was on whatever messaging. I said, "Who you, like just one of them? Who are you messaging like that?" She went, "Oh, I was just chatting to Victoria." Apparently, they message each other all the time. I didn't know this until literally 3 days ago. But yeah, I know. Apparently, they talking baby stuff and all that.
Do you know what that means? That means they get their nails did. I mean, you are out.
When your fight's done.
Out.
Girls, if you're watching this, we are planning a night out once Conor wins this fight. Okay, obviously it's difficult not to talk about stuff that's kind of said beforehand. We appreciate that you're focused on Vargas, but Amir Khan did come out with some comments kind of giving you, say, a friendly warning about someone like Samuel Vargas, which I'm sure you would have seen, who he's been in the ring with and obviously gave him troubles in that opening round. But have you seen those comments from Amir Khan kind of friendly advising you, shall we say?
I don't listen to what anyone else has got to say. Because then the vision can become blurred. I focus on what my trainer's got to say. I focus on what I see. And that's it. What my trainer says, my dad, and my opinion. It's all that matters. It don't matter about what X, Y, Z's thinking, do you know what I mean? It matters what I think. It matters what my trainer thinks and what we see, not anybody else. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Khan can say what he wants. You know, I see he tips me to be world champion. I believe I can be world champion. There's just a lot of ups and downs. I know I'm going to have to go through, man. I thought it was the end of the world when I hit the deck. I thought that was it. That's it. I'm finished. Humiliate him by someone that I shouldn't have hit the deck with. And then, bosh, I rose back from the ashes. All that Quibbler fight, all Rocky start, his experience and all that. All up have that, mate. Take that. You want to rough me up, want to push my head down, give me elbow, have a bit of that left hook that knock you down. You know, when you get back up, you've got to chop him right hand, left hook, right hand. Send you right back down. You want to get back up? Here's a right hook, right uppercut, right hook, left hook. Have that. Do you know what I mean? Take that with you. Take that with your experience. Formella, you know, you take a beating for the 10. No problem. I could have done 12 at a very fast pace. My punch output was second to none. Got on fucking getting all like, don't know, see what I'm saying? Do you see this? I can rev myself up. Thank you, Jesus.
I do want to ask you about Khan, because I know it's a fight that, when you come through this fight with Vargas, check Wayne going on in the background. We caught that trip, by the way. Did you get it on there? Yeah, we got it on there. Lovely. We got it on there. But why did you want that fight, Amir Khan?
Listen, I can't see past Vargas because I know I've really got my hands full with Vargas. The big domestics what the public want, and you know it's idols to rivals. You know that sort of line, and he's a fighter I looked up to, a fighter I'd love to share the ring with before he retires.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, because I believe it'd be a great fight. I believe I'd learn a lot from that fight, as I will against Vargas. I mean, listen, we'll see where I'm at with Vargas. I can't jump the gun. I can't be thinking about anyone else because it's irrelevant. If things don't go my way with Vargas, I've got to fully focus on him. There's nothing else I can think of. There ain't. I've made that mistake before. I can't. You don't make that mistake again. You make a mistake, you know, fool me once, fool me twice. You know that saying, however it goes. Yeah, I ain't being fooled twice, mate. I ain't making that mistake again. You know, the first mistake was enough.
Yeah, you're answering in exactly the correct way, but you know, obviously people are and have asked you about the Brooks, the Khans, etc. But you'd be foolish to start really dissecting that situation before you've got Samuel Vargas in front of you on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. I can't be thinking of no one else. I mean, look at what Vargas almost done to Khan. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? So, and Khan's achieved everything I want to achieve in this sport. So, Vargas will see an opening, he'll take it. I see an opening, I'm going to take it. So, and that's all I got to worry about is this Saturday is Vargas, nothing else. Nothing can cloud my vision. Or, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm fully confident I'm going to win. Very confident I'm going to win. The minute you start taking your eyes off the balls, the minute, you know, things start to go down that slippery slope.
I do like to always ask you what your dad says to you kind of a few days out from fight week. I know you would have obviously been in touch with him at some point this week, etc. So what has Mr. Nigel Benn said to you this week?
Just take your time for the first couple of rounds, son. Take your time, ease into the fight. And then when you see an opening, pounce. Pounce on him.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's his way of navigating things.
Do you miss not having him here?
Oh, mate.
Silly question.
What, you trying to make me cry? Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah, of course I miss my dad, man. He's like a brother to me. Obviously respect him as my dad. But emotionally, he's that brother. He's just my soulmate.
Conor, I saw you do a thing with JD Sport the other day where they were asking you quick fire questions. Do you know, I watched the whole couple of minutes of that, and do you know you paused on every question. The only question you didn't pause on was when they said, "Who's your hero?" You didn't even blink an eye and you said, "Your dad."
You're trying to make me cry. Get the mic away. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm just saying what I saw. I did, yes. You answered everything, like what car you wanted to drive. You said, I think you said a Rolls Royce. Yes, correct. And all these questions, you took a second to answer. The only question you didn't answer is when, I think it was Josh Denzel said to you, "Who's your hero?" You went, "My dad." Straight away, off the cuff, just, "My dad."
My dad is my hero, man. I can't put into words what he means to me, what he stands for to me, what my grandson will know about him. He's just unbelievable. Like, the way he is with the public, the way he handles things, the way he goes about life, the demons he's had to overcome, the way he's had to change, the way he has changed in himself. He's just... he's a hero, mate. He really is. You know, and I know he loves me so much. And we looked at each other once, and I looked him in the eye, and he looked at me in the eye, and it was very weird because you think your dad, out of 24 years, 23 years, you would have looked your dad in the eye. I looked at him in the eye, and I just saw something, and it made me emotional. Because I just know everything my dad's had to go through in life that no one knows about. I know my dad's gone through things that people in my family don't even know about, but myself. So when I look at the man in the eye, I see a whole load of regret. I see a whole load of struggle. I see a lot of stuff. And, I just want to look him in the eye and just say, "Dad, you know what, man, I love you. Irrelevant of what I do in this sport. I could sack the boxing off tomorrow. I could sack the boxing off after this fight. And nothing changes. Not a single thing changes. Do you know what I mean? There's more to life than boxing, man. There's more to life than, being happy." And my dad taught me that. Do you know what I mean? Everything my dad went through in life, it was he's achieved it, but he reached the highest heights of the sport. Legendary status. But he wasn't a happy man outside the ring. Do you know what I mean? So, and he's that's what he's taught me mainly. It's about being happy in real life and being a good man.
Okay. It's nice listening to you talk about your dad. Because obviously the British public, boxing public, know what your dad means to British boxing. So to hear, obviously, you talk about him like that is great. Last one, and I'm genuinely not trying to make you cry, but has it dawned on you that this Saturday at home, your wife will be with your 2-month-old son, 2-month son, potentially seeing shapes on the TV of you fighting Vargas? Has that dawned on you?
I don't know how I feel about that. My son will never be at my fights.
Why did you say that so early on, by the way?
Because I know how it felt watching my dad about to get in the ring and prepare, watching him spar. It's not really like nice, is it? I didn't feel anything great about watching my dad go in the ring and spar. It wasn't nice. No. Son, you have these blessings because I worked hard. You have these blessings because, you know, I really worked hard so that you don't have to do this. And my dad probably thinks, son, why'd you fight, mate? You think everything I've done, you don't have to do this, you know. He's probably thinking, you absolute log. Of course he is, thinking, you idiot. I had no choice. You do. I'm like, yeah, but Dad, I want to fight, and I want to fight because I'm an idiot. Do you know what I mean? If my son turned around to me and goes, I want to fight, I go, you're an absolute idiot. Think twice, mate. My son ain't got to fight, man. It don't only do things to you physically, it does it to, you know, mentally as well. You ain't got to do this, son. It's hard, man. You just go to school and study. Be an accountant, a lawyer, be a painter and decorator. If you're really ambitious, own a painting and decorating company. You're sweet. I love painting and decorating.
Conor, you're saying you don't want your son to watch your fights as you get us older, etc. But you're saying at this stage you don't even want your son to follow in your footsteps, his granddad's footsteps, and be a fighter.
Because I don't want my son walking around Brentwood like he's all that in a bag of chips, thinking, yeah, do you know who my dad is? I don't want that, mate. And it's easily done. You know who my dad is? You know who my granddad is, yeah? Yeah, what, you want some? I hope he ain't that kid. And looking at him, he come out of the womb.
You weren't that kid, so why's your son going to be that kid?
Because I was raised in Spain in a Christian church, far away from everything. My son come out at Victoria's womb, he had a frown on him, mate. I thought, oh.
So you called him Clay?
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't want him to be a fighter, but you can have the name Clay. Eli Clay, you can be named that.
We're keeping the tradition. We're keeping the fighting tradition. You know, in my walkout song, it goes dancing around the border like I'm CASSIUS Clay. There's meaning to it. And you can keep it, you know, the legacy going, but, you know, maybe the Ben Academy, he can, you know, stuff like that. You don't need to fight, mate. Yeah, I can't do it. I know I couldn't suffer watching. I couldn't even see my dad fight, and he's a grown man who's achieved the pinnacle of the sport. I couldn't even watch him. I ain't having my son do it. Oh, mate, life's too short. It's funny. It's funny because it's just funny, innit? Whatever plans out in the end, and he does whatever he wants to do. But mark my word, if he falls over and hurts his face, I'll be, son, you're right, son. I'll be that dad. I won't be like my dad was me, because I can get out, mate, you'll be all right. I can have a little wipe of that, you'll be all right. Remember, he scraped up my whole face, pushed me on the bike, but I've come off on the side, sideways, scraped my whole face. He's gone out quickly, son, you're all right. I went home, looked in the mirror, looked like something out of a horror movie. Do you know what I mean? I was like 10 years old. And it's just funny because I'll pamper my son. I'll make sure that he don't want to get punched in the face.
Who wants to get punched in the face? Who wants to actually get punched in the face?
Well, I'm questioning myself here. Thinking, what am I doing Saturday night? I love it though. I'm not all there in the head, clearly. It's fine.
Okay, Conor, I appreciate you giving us time as always, and I know it's not late, but it's getting late, and I know you obviously need to rest, etc. So waiting tomorrow, and then Saturday night, roll on, fight night, live on Sky Sports and The Zone.
I'm ready to go, mate. Been ready to go for a long time.
Conor Benn, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up with you after the fight. Best of luck, and yeah, we'll talk to you after.
Thank you, mate.